Hello, it is me, Pearl, from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned in Tarot. And we are here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine energy inside of self, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our interactions with others and in our external environment. And if we want to see change, we do need to shift and change the energy within, and hopefully my readings help you do just that. But today's reading is a junk food reading. This reading is meant to be purely for your entertainment. It is meant to give you the hot tea on some of the connections in your life if you are curious about them. And if you are just wanting to enjoy spying on someone's energy, then this is what this reading is going to be about today. I have done the style where I have two stories. I have one story going, which is the story maybe that you have had going with someone. This would be the when is he coming back question type person, is going to be who we're going to talk about first. And the second story is going to be either another person you have on your mind or someone new that you haven't met yet, depending on where you fall in that category. All right, let us begin. So we are going to start first with the Six of Wands. This is the overall energy of the first person. Oh, as a treat, this entire reading is going to be available today fully on YouTube from beginning to end as a treat for everyone, so you don't have to bounce over to the passes.com/Pearl's prayer site. But I'm only doing that on the condition that you do go to passes.com/Pearl's prayers. And please follow me over there so that you can have access to full-length readings like this one. If you are a subscriber, you can get it the day of. It actually posts over to Passes before it even posts to YouTube. If you are a follower, you will have access to the full-length reading after 7 days. So it's still going to be there. You can still see all of the content there. And there are some occasional free treats I put on the wall as well to display my wares, so to speak. So please go subscribe over there. 10 subscribers at the $15 level would just be a real treat for me this week. So go take advantage of that. And do know that without support, I can't continue to keep doing these readings. So I definitely need for you to be booking private readings, subscribing, and donating in order to sustain my channel. People were doing that a lot in 2020 and 2021 when I first got started, but it has slowly gone down over the years. Although I do see the same number of people still kind of consistently watching my content. So please make sure that you are helping to sustain me if you want to keep seeing these readings every day. All right. So the first person's energy. Overall, this person is, we've got a Six of Wands here. So this person, this is the one from your past. This may be somebody who has a public persona, because the Six of Wands can be about public acknowledgement or recognition. But it's also about victory or success, and it's like overcoming a struggle. So I actually see this person from the past overcoming some kind of an internal struggle that they were having that may have been manifesting as some infighting in friends, in their family. There could have been issues with like baby mama drama, that kind of stuff going on. But I'm seeing that they have overcome this, and they're feeling some kind of a victory about this. And there's this desire now to come and share with you this victory, share the spoils of war with you. And what is underlying this success is the Two of Swords, which is this decision of not having made a decision, just kind of sitting there in this truce. It's a somewhat peaceful state. There's no fighting in that, but there's also no movement. It's a stagnant kind of an energy. And so basically what I'm seeing then is they have overcome this energy of being indecisive. So they are taking some kind of a decisive action. So that is the energy of the first person. Let's get into it. What they are carrying in from the past is the Ace of Pentacles here, the Ace of Hedgehogs from the Alice in Wonderland Tarot, the lightning, which says sudden change, shocking news, surprise, epiphany, upheaval, and transformation. And then we have the heart. So a seed was planted long ago with this person. Like, they had some kind of a very dramatic, heart-opening experience a long time ago. And this has grown and grown and grown and become something very abundant between you. Although they have been sleeping on making any kind of material gesture for a very long time. I think that's what the decision-making process has been about. But something has changed suddenly and caused them to desire to come now and make this material offer to you. You, however, have very healthy boundaries, or in some cases, maybe not healthy boundaries, but I'm thinking for this stage of your journey, healthy boundaries here. So there's that Eight of Swords that's up. Probably what the Two of Swords is about is this person deciding, like, how am I going to basically get through this Eight of Swords energy? This talking card, which says interested, conversing more, awaited message arrives, text, call, email, and hoovering. And then we have the Rider, number 1, which is big time giving me the sense that somebody... I think what's very shocking here in this experience is that this person is basically coming towards you and perhaps maybe even having to cross certain lines drawn in the sand in order to come forward. But it's something you would wish to happen. So it's not like you're going to feel like they violated your boundaries or something. For them to reach out would actually be something that you are wishing for. What's interesting about this rider is the horse is riding in one direction and the rider is looking behind. And so what I think that the messages that have to come through are about what was blocking this connection in the past. What was the thought process that was going on for this person about, like, why they weren't making any moves, why they weren't bringing you that gesture, that material gesture. So that's definitely something that they want to talk about. They also want to talk, I see, like, when I lay this down on my spread, I can see that the writer, while progressing forward, is looking back to that moment in the past when there was that epiphany and heart opening for them in regards to you. And so they definitely do want to speak to you about this moment. Interestingly, we have this Five of Swords energy coming up with abundance, and there was a second card stuck to it, the Twin Flames card. This says, keep a positive mindset, manifest exactly what you want, gratitude and bliss. And then this is yin yang, zen, balance, union, duality, coupling, complementing each other. And then we have the Stars card here. So this is giving me the sense that with this particular person from your past, the struggle here, like there was like a mental struggle regarding this twin flame dynamic, the duality that exists in twin flame, coming together, coming into union and separating, coming into union and separating. There was an abundance of that energy, which was causing a lot of mental conflict, because it really does feel like there is something very fated or cosmic about this connection. But because it didn't really progress or move in any direction, it has been something that I think both of you have wanted to give up on, but you've also not been able to give up on it because you believe that you can manifest exactly what you want and that there is a cosmic element here to this connection. I can't believe the Twin Flames card came out for that, because I would look at that first person as like likely the person who you first came in to get readings about. So for the outcome for this connection, I am seeing that there are healthy choices being made, and then we're seeing this bouquet. So, I think both you and this person have been making healthy choices in love and in life, really giving yourselves a lot of self love and a lot of self care, and you are really in a place where you are being happier. And I'm really seeing, like, regardless of whether or not you were ever to come together, you really accomplished an incredible amount, from what the two of you have. How do I want to phrase this? Like, you've almost accomplished your mission. Like, I mean, that might just, depending on where you are in your journey, that might make you feel very peaceful. You're like, yes, that's true, I have done that. Or if you're at a point in your journey where physical union is really still super super important to you, that might feel disappointing to be like, no, I thought the point was for us to be physically together. No, the point isn't for you to be physically together. Will you perhaps be physically together? Absolutely. There's the absolute potential for that. But is it the point? No. The point is that you learn how to make healthy choices and love and care for yourself, so that when you offer something to someone else, it's, first of all, it's real. It's not just an act, because you can't really offer your heart to somebody if you haven't learned how to open your heart to love to be able to give it. And you really want to be able to know that were that love to be impeded by something, time travel, but time or travel or grief or loss or, a sudden shocking injury to the body that would cause a person's personality to change. Like, you want to know that happiness will always be there because it comes from within. Love will always be there because it's unconditional and truly, truly doesn't depend on any conditions. That the reason why I think a lot of people in the twin flame journey get stuck is because they really can't detach physical union from outcome, or they can't detach themselves from that outcome. They really can't be satisfied with the feeling of always loving and being connected to someone regardless of physical union. And they get stuck there because they keep focusing on, like, oh, I have to have physical union, I have to have physical union, but the love exists without it. And if it's really only the love that you're interested in and nothing selfish in the ego, then that really is enough. Just to know that that person loves you deeply is enough. And it doesn't mean that you're not motivated to then actually be with the other person, because you still may feel motivated to, but you are content whether you do or not. Truly content. Not false contentment, but truly content in that connection. There may be other parts of your life that you don't feel content with. And in fact, when you're content where you are in that connection with this person, now you can actually turn to those other things in your life and deal with them and recognize that maybe you were trying to get fulfillment from a love relationship when really there were other parts of your life that were making you less than content that needed addressing. And focusing on someone else sort of let you off the hook for actually doing the things that you would want to do for yourself. So that's the gift of the twin flame dynamic. But junk food wise, I know I wasn't supposed to teach any lessons, but I guess that lesson had to come out anyway. Junk food wise, your twin flame is likely on their way to talk to you right now. It will probably surprise you, mainly because of how peaceful it's going to be. There isn't really going to be any fighting. That has been overcome. It's really just going to be now about the two of you making really healthy choices in a connection together, and it's super beautiful. So the second storyline is for those of you who are not interested in that person returning, or feel like that's very unlikely right now, or you're maybe at an earlier stage and you're meant to connect with another soulmate to learn a lesson. And remember, karmic lessons are, it's kind of like a double, to say those words both mean the same thing, but the lessons that you learn can be good lessons. They can feel good, or they can be lessons that feel uncomfortable, that force you out of your comfort zone, but ultimately are leading you somewhere good. So this either new person coming in or a second person you might have on your mind, their overall energy is the King of Cups. This is an energy of being very, very loving, compassionate, caring, like a guardian, a fathering type of an energy. Deep, deep emotions and deep, deep feelings. But they may be, not that comfortable dipping their toe into those deep feelings at the moment because they're wanting to maintain a certain amount of, they want to control their emotions, really. They do want to remain in control, but they want to seem like put together. They're trying to look good for you, but they are good. It's not like they're faking who they are, or trying to look good when they're not a good person. They actually are, but they just feel like if they're too overly emotional in their energy, you might get scared away. So they have very, very, very deep feelings, and they're like, oh God, I can't say that yet because this person might get scared, right? So they're trying to just be delicate with how they approach you with this loving energy, but there is a lot of this loving energy. What's underlying and supporting this is so much different from the other energy. The energy of the first person, there was this, they weren't making any decisions. There was no movement. And yes, they're overcoming that. I don't know the timeline for that in particular, but they are overcoming it. This person has no problem initiating communication. They're excited and they want to start something fresh with you and get right to an adventure. Now, I do not distinguish. Maybe some of you in your mind might be tuning out from this person because you're like, well, I want my twin flame and I already know that my twin flame is coming back because of that reading before. But I do not distinguish the experience of a twin flame from a soulmate. I know other readers do that. I don't know why. There's really no evidence in the history of all mankind, as far as I can find, that would make them be able to state beyond a shadow of a doubt that the relationship that you have with a person called twin flame, which by the way is a term that comes from the 70s, and if you want to know the whole history of that, go look at my Origins of the Twin Flame myth and thank me later. But there's no reason to distinguish it. For me, a twin flame is just something that is like it initiates you, it awakens you. It's going to remind you. It's very familiar. It's somebody who's going to show you all of your wounds really effectively, and that's what makes it special. It doesn't mean that like the way that you feel in a relationship with them is going to be better than others, because frankly, the way you feel in a relationship with your twin flame is not very good for a very large component of the time. That's the whole point. It's burning, cleansing, getting all of the ego out of you so that you can really understand that your true, the true flame that's within you is never outside of you. It's eternal and all of that stuff. So it's like a trial by fire type of a connection. So it's I don't think that it is necessarily going to be happier than any other connection you've ever had. I think it's just going to be an intense one. But intensity does not equal fulfillment. So don't mistake that. And definitely do not be opposed to experiencing new connections, because you have a long journey with a twin flame also, like decades and decades. And so if you've only been on the journey for a few months, then you are really going to want to open up to meet new people and have new connections over the next few decades. And I'm really not kidding. I'm not kidding. And the longer you wait to do that, I think the longer it will be that it will take you to get into a place where you experience the healing you need to heal in order to be in that connection with a person that's like your twin flame, or is your twin flame, depending on, but I haven't met a person yet. I haven't met anybody yet who truly is in the connection with that person that they felt was their twin flame. So when I meet somebody, when that happens, I will let you know, but I haven't yet. So just keep that in mind. Okay. So the, this second person here that's really wanting to start talking, really want to start an adventure with you, really want to get this started. They just think you are the bee's knees here with the Queen of Wands card. They do see you as incredibly attractive and magnetic. We're seeing the Runner and the Hand of Cards. They are really, they're a little bit afraid that if they take this chance, they might scare you away. because they're wanting to really communicate here with the bird's energy. So they, it is possible that if this is somebody that you've known, they might have ran at first, because they were a little bit afraid to take a chance and lose you. Like they wanted to go and get their ducks in a row. I'm seeing those two birds standing, on this branch, and it just made me think of ducks in a row, even though these are not ducks. But they might have wanted to go do that because they didn't want to take any chance to lose someone like you. So there might have been this initial meeting that you had that seemed like a spark was there, and then they might have had to like run off for a second to try to figure out exactly how to communicate the way that they were feeling without it being they don't want it to turn into something. They don't want to gamble and lose this, I'm getting. So it says fear of intimacy and listening to the ego. But with the bird's energy, I'm also getting a sense that they may have had some like people in their ear a little bit talking about how they should handle it or what they should do. Something about that's coming up. All right. We're getting temperance. Oop. Oh my gosh. I can't pick the card up. Come on. There we go. Okay. We're getting temperance, wedding rings, and scythe. Okay. So in some cases, this person may have required you to have patience because they may have had to end a marriage. They may have had a committed relationship of some kind that needed to end. Weird. I just got to download that in some cases there might be somebody who had parents who suddenly went through a divorce unexpectedly. Hang on. My sister just asked if she can, just want to tell her about a reading. Okay. So that's like probably not everybody, but there might be somebody who the person that wanted to come and communicate and start a connection with them had to stop because their parents were suddenly getting divorced. And they didn't want to like try to start their own romantic relationship in the midst of like their family kind of falling apart. That's coming up for me for some reason for some people. So that's a thing. For others, this person saw that you were marriage material and they knew that they needed to like alchemize and transform some of the parts of themselves in order to really put them into a headspace where they themselves were ready for marriage. So they needed a little bit of time, and that was why things didn't really move. But something has changed. Something has alchemized. There is transformation here. We've got a 7 of Pentacles coming up, stuck to a Queen of Swords energy. Cupid's arrow that says, have faith, love is coming, and the Mountain here. So what I'm seeing is that this person is really worried that they may have lost the chance to be with you because of whatever disruption that they had in their life that they needed to go and deal with. The Cupid's arrow is giving me that Page of Wands energy that was underlying the situation. So they definitely felt something for you, something pretty powerful. And they have some fear that making you wait and saying like, have faith, I'm coming, is something that might have put you into a little bit of a like harsh or critical or judgmental energy. Or maybe tested your patience a little bit, and they fear that may pose a bit of an obstacle when they actually do come in to communicate with you, which is what they're definitely going to do, because we see the palm tree here coming out with the letter card. So this person is absolutely going to speak to you, and they want to establish consistent, stable communication with the birds coming out and the letter card: stability, security, permanence, growth, endurance, and flexibility. So they are really wanting to tell you that they want to build something solid with you, a solid connection, despite having stepped away to deal with whatever it was that needed to be dealt with. They did that purely so that they could really prepare themselves for a long-term commitment with you, because that is what they really want. So it looks like you're going to have a situation where the twin flame, or the original person that you were focusing on, it looks like that person is in a place where they are making healthy choices for themselves, and they are wanting to come in and offer you this gift, this of some kind. It looks like with the bouquet and that talking card, a conversation about your connection. Talk about the fact that they do feel like there is some kind of cosmic connection between the two of you, and they want to grow something. But again, I don't know the timeline for that, because of the Two of Swords and the Eight of Swords. There may still be some stuff in their mind and their head that they're cleaning up, but I do get a sense that because of the sudden change and shocking news card, that it's likely going to turn on a dime. So it could literally be any second, right? Any minute now. The second person, we've got that same energy. Like, if you've been waiting a long time to hear back from this person, then it's likely that you'll probably hear back soon. If they just took some distance, it might be a little bit of time. And if this is a completely new person, I would guess that you would likely hear from them really pretty soon, because of the Page of Wands, where they're just really wanting to talk. They want to make that communication. You may hear from this person before the other person, which might be annoying to you, because both of these connections offer really stable, loving energy from what I can feel and what I can see. And this secondary energy knew who you were immediately and started working immediately. I feel like the amount of time that you would have to wait for this connection would be really, really short amount of time. Where the first connection has taken that person quite a long time, or will take that person quite a long time to get to this point. And so it will probably not be the simplest decision for you to make, but either decision would be good. So it's you can't get it wrong. But you might feel a bit conflicted with that Five of Swords coming out about the twin flame, and you might feel a little bit uncertain about how long you might have to wait to hear from this first person, and it might just kind of play off of each other. So let me give you just a little bit of advice to close this out for each connection. What should my viewer do for each connection to be able to see this love coming into their life? Okay. So interesting. The universe is still like, oh, it's up to them. For the first person, you have the Risk card. So it's very interesting. For the second person, you have the Create card. And I think that's really interesting. So let me give you the final advice of these two cards. The first, which of course came up for your twin flame, is the 11 card, to confirm that that is absolutely twin flame energy, or twin soul energy, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Annoying as fuck energy, you can call it that if you want. This is saying to you, if you choose this path, this isn't the time to be conservative. Taking a risk is the key to this situation. You may feel vulnerable or overwhelmed, but this is what it takes for you to move forward. If you fail, that's actually a win, because you'll gain valuable information as you sift through what you don't want in search of what you want. Feel free to ask yourself, what's the best thing that could possibly happen? Don't be shy with your imagination. Let your reservations go. Put your brave boots on. Take that risk. You are worth every good and lovely thing, and all the right ones are waiting for you. Be the one who decided to go for it. So this is telling me, if you choose this first person, you're going to have to just choose them. You're going to have to just leap into it and risk that, whatever it is that you fear about letting yourself imagine or believe that this person is coming with that bouquet of flowers to actually get it started with you. If you want that path, you have to embrace the fear that you have right now, that it's just a dream or an illusion, or that it couldn't really happen. You have to face that fear and just let it happen. So for the second person, the second potential person here, it says, it is time to dig in. Dive deep, create. The key right now is in the creative dream doing. Dance your pain, chant your victories, paint your revelations, sculpt your visions, create a moment with an intimate friend or an immersive experience with a group of kindred spirits. Whatever it is that hums beneath the surface of your everyday awareness is seeking a way into the world. Now is the time to become that way. Don't judge the result. Don't even consider whether or not it's valuable. Just create. The creation itself will reveal your next steps. So it's very interesting. What this is showing me is that, like, if you choose to put all of your time and energy and effort into envisioning this first connection working out, you risk the opportunity to create something new that might be equally as exciting. However, if you take this risk and just go all in, you will still be fulfilled and feel really good about this connection and all the transformation that has taken place within you and within the relationship between the two of you. But you'll risk this potential to create something new. And you'll potentially, if you go towards this creation, you'll risk sort of knowing for certain whether or not that person was ever meant to be with you in a long-term connection. But I gotta tell you that you are the one who decides that. There isn't like a path that you are not the one that is deciding on that path. It's all you. And I think learning that is somewhat liberating. And then once you realize that, you decide that if it's you that is the creator, you that is choosing the reality that you're seeing, then you are also choosing the obstacles, you're choosing the timeline, you're choosing it all. And I think that can be really difficult to fully embrace. So, I wasn't supposed to give you lessons today. Sorry. My guides came through and gave you lessons. I hope it helped. And I hope that you realize that you can't make the wrong choice here. That you really can't. If you're ready for something new, you want something new, go get it, tiger. If you want the old thing to come to you in a new way, it's done. Just so it's literally like whatever you want. What do you want? I guess what do you want is the question that you really need to answer. But have a glorious day. I shall see you tomorrow for the general week ahead reading. Please go subscribe, book private readings, do all the things to help keep me going, keep this channel going, or else pretty soon you'll have made your choice and you won't see me anymore either. All right, take care. Have a best day.